welcome back to Recipes and Life. In this video, we will be discussing about our Azerbaijan trip which we had recently been to in the March end, and it was a very beautiful trip and the weather was good. How did we manage there with two kids along, one being a toddler and other being a 13-year-old? It was a wonderful trip and I would like to disclose everything with you all so that you all can plan your trip accordingly. So let's start with understanding where is Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is in between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. Also, it is in a Caucasus region of the continent. So friends, it is also called as Eurasia since it is between Europe and Asia. And hence, when you will visit this beautiful country, you will experience the European vibes and the climate too. It is like traveling Europe in half the budget. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. If you are about to save some penny here and there, it is always nice, and it can add in for more shopping or a better travel plan, right? So that's the motive. The language these locals speak over here is specifically Azerbaijani, or you can also call it as Azerbaijani Turkish language. And there is lots of influence over here of Turkish food, and specifically the sweets, if you find here, they have that typical taste. Also, Azerbaijan has a very rich historical culture and a diverse geographical region. You will see huge mountains like Tufangarh, which we had visited, and it had a beautiful snow time, so we experienced that over there. So Tufangarh is a mountain region and it is really beautiful. So yes, other than that, it has a historical background. So the Silk Route, if you are aware about the Silk Route, that is how the trading started in the ancient time. So the Silk Route had this specific stop in Azerbaijan. So it was a very well-known place, Azerbaijan, in old times, since most of the traders from the Silk Route used to stop here to take some rest. Also, that is how the trade increased over here and all over the world again. So when we visited here, we saw a fire temple and we could read the history over there displayed. So it states that this Azerbaijan was it has lots of Indians over there residing. Also, we found a Ganesh Ji temple over here, and just besides the Ganesh temple, there was the exact spot where the fire temple was originally. So in our culture, you all know that we worship fire, right? So that is a starting point where it started, and then because of the culture and the climate specifically in that region, it was important to worship fire. That is how the history of the fire worshipping began. And it was very fascinating for us being an Indian to see Ganesh Ji temple in this Eurasian country and the fire temple just next to it. Now the fire is not there, which I'll be showing you in the videos coming ahead. The fire temple has just moved ahead around 200 to 300 meters ahead from the spot, but it is still there. And the resting place we saw, it was beautiful how small rooms were built for the traders to take rest. So even the horses and all the animals, they used to stay in these shaded places, and how they used to get feed. There was a small chamber over there, square or rectangle shape, and they used to put grass in that. So till now, if you visit there, don't forget to visit Fire Temple. It is a beautiful spot. And when you go there, the entrance fee is 15 manat for Fire Temple and the Fire Mountain, which is around 10 kilometers from this Fire Temple. It is not walkable at all. You need to take a private taxi to go to Fire Mountain. Okay, so this experience was beautiful, and this is how we came to know about the history of Indian traders being there and how the Silk Route was so useful that time, and this importance of Azerbaijan in Silk Route. Okay, so this is a beautiful history, and geography is beautiful because you can see mountains over there, then there are plateaus, no mountains at all, and also you can see lots of trees and small blossom trees are there. Oh, they look so beautiful. The blossoms are like amazing view you'll get when you travel from Baku to Gabala. That's where we went to. Gabala is one beautiful destination you must go to. So now, since we got the idea about the Azerbaijan culture and the history, So it is time for us to plan a trip. So let's start that. But before planning any trip, there are few things we should keep in mind, like the season of the place. Like if you go to Azerbaijan, the best thing is that you can visit Azerbaijan in any of the month, because it has different climates according to the months. If you visit from March, April, May and September to October, you will be experiencing the cold season over there, and there is rains in between, but it is not raining very heavily in this specific time, but the weather is very pleasant. And we visited in the March end, and it was a beautiful weather that time, and we experienced all the weathers, like snow was there, rain was there, the cold and the sunshine. We experienced everything. And luckily, while coming back to Baku from Tufangarh or Gabala, that is the time we experienced the snowfall, and it was so good. We couldn't get out of the car because of the heavy snow, but it was a beautiful view to come. And after visiting Baku, after reaching Baku, the climate just changed and it became sunny the next day. So that was again good for us, since where the climate was clear and we could do the city sightseeing. So what I was trying to tell you was, you can visit between March and May or September to October for the cold climate. But if you are like the cold fan, or you want to see snow, have never experienced snow, then you have to visit specifically in January or February when it is snowing heavily. But also don't forget that the roads may be closed, or because of the heavy snow, taking your kids along, it becomes a bit difficult. I feel personally it is totally your choice, but if kids are there, you need to keep them very warm, and everything should be managed according to the climate. So January and February is the snowy season, and the summers are June, July and August. So that is the time when you will see all blossoms everywhere, but it is a bit hot and humid, I would say. But yes, it is a workable weather. You can visit here with kids in this specific time. When we visited in March, the temperature was 10 to 15 degrees, but it feels like around 2 degrees. So be ready to get covered and have some warm drinks. And yeah, it was beautiful, and the weather was really good. And luckily the kids didn't get affected because of the weather, since it is very fresh over there. When you inhale, you feel that the oxygen is there, and yeah, it is just unpolluted air over there, and it is a very out of the world experience, we felt personally. So for guys, how did we travel? The next topic is flight. So flights are Wizz Air, which is quite economical from Abu Dhabi, and the other one is Air Arabia. So we preferred Air Arabia this time because of the timings. Wizz Air mostly fly in the nights, and it becomes difficult to manage with kids again. I'm stressing that because being a family, it is important to have the trips where it is more relaxing. Being a family with 2 kids, so disturbing them sleep and the food habits and the routine doesn't suit, even if you go on a trips. So you need to take care of their schedule also. So considering all these things, we selected Air Arabia, and the Air Arabia flies from Abu Dhabi to Baku at 1:30 p.m. So that is the time we get, because we travel from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. So that is around 1.5 hours time, and that we went by a car. We parked at a friend's place, and then we went to the airport, and then we had some time in between. We had some nice lunch over there in the lounge area in Abu Dhabi. There is beautiful lounge, you can have lunch over there, and then you can begin your flight. So now let's see about the flight journey which we experienced. So we went by Air Arabia, and there is another flight Wizz Air also, which takes you from Abu Dhabi to Baku, but we preferred Air Arabia because of the timings, and we have 2 kids, and being a toddler with us, it is really important for us to keep in mind his sleeping schedule and health when you are going outside, because if the kids get ill in this specific time, then it is very difficult for you to enjoy, and the trip really becomes a bit painful journey, I feel. So we kept in mind, and we booked for Air Arabia, and it flies at 1:30 p.m. So the timing was also very good, since we were traveling from Dubai to Abu Dhabi by car, We parked over there at a friend's place, and then we went to this airport, and then we had some lunch at the lounge, and then we boarded the flight. This is how the journey was. While coming back, it was the same thing. So this was a very smooth journey since we reached there. Yeah, I wanted to stress on the thing was, it is said it takes around 3 hours, but then we were there in Baku from Abu Dhabi around 2 hours time, and it was like nothing, we just reached Baku within no time, and that also helped us to settle down faster after reaching our hotel from Baku. It is really convenient if you take Air Arabia flight. You do get meals served, or you can pre-book your meals if you want to have on the flights. They have their other services like fly air services, so you can have the meals. Cost is a bit extra, you have to pay, but then it is nothing like you will not get served. You will get some food on the flight too. And Air Arabia is an awesome flight. It has a very nice leg room, and our toddler, he is 3 years old now, and he had his own seat. So yeah, it was not very troublesome journey. It was a very good experience. And for the mothers and the parents, I would give one trick over here to keep your toddlers busy during the takeoff and the landing time, or in between time too. You need to carry some activities for them, like a magnetic boards, or books they can read, or they can do coloring. And yeah, these activities you can carry. Other than that, while taking off and landing, always give them something to chew, like you can give them a lollipop, or you can just feed them milk, or water, or a juice, something, so that if they keep on gulping, the ears won't pain. Because of the sudden altitude change, the toddlers tend to cry because of the ear pain and the discomfort. So yeah, do follow this trick in your next trip. We booked this flight. It was a return flight, came from the same Air Arabia flight from Baku, and it costed us around 650 dirhams return flight. Now, what is the visa process? Visa is super simple, since you don't need any agent to take this visa. But yes, we do need e-visa, and you get it after landing there. But I always suggest to take e-visa before you go to the place, even if they have the service. It is always better, other than falling into some trouble after landing. And if there is any issue with the documentation, it is advised to take e-visa before. So the cost is around 20 USD per person. That is a normal visa, and it comes around within 3 to 4 days. And if you want an urgent visa, then it just takes 3 hours. And all the process is online. You have to go to the specific site. This is the site, and you have to fill in the necessary forms. And also they will ask you for the hotel bookings. So you need to book your hotels prior, and just fill in the forms, pay the money, and then your visa will be coming to you within 3 hours. Or if you are taking normal, they will send it within 3 to 4 days. Now let's see the currency. So the currency of Azerbaijan is manat, and the conversion is in Indian rupees. It is 49.29 INR for 1 manat, and for 1 manat in terms of AED, it is 2.25. So you have to convert it accordingly. And then you need to take some cash with you all. If you get it in your country, the rates, I don't think it will be better rates. You will be getting it in your country, just like in Dubai also, they don't give you good rates for Azerbaijan currency. And specifically, we struggled finding the currency exchange for Azerbaijan. So we took USD. Anywhere you travel, USD is the currency which can be exchanged hassle free. So this is one thing. Always carry USD with you. If you don't get a specific country's currency, take USD with you. Convert some of the currency on the airport once you reach there, for the taxi and SIM cards if you're buying it from the airport itself. And then don't convert too much of currency on the airports, because they tend to give you lesser rates. Instead, after going to a specific country and settling down in your hotel, ask the hotel manager where the currency gets exchanged, and then you can go to these authorized centers. For Azerbaijan, Nizami Street is the heart of the city, And yeah, here you will get all the shops, you will get authorized centers for exchange, there are banks also, and the process is very quick. So we went there with USD, and then they gave us 1.67 rate for the manats, like we exchange USD currency over. You can do the payment by cards too. Also, you can withdraw the money from ATMs in Azerbaijan, but always remember there is some amount charged by the bank for withdrawing from ATMs and if you pay through the card. But in case you are not able to do the currency exchange, yeah, this is the suggestion to carry a card, or you can withdraw through the ATMs too. Okay, so now the next thing which I will tell you about is the SIM cards. So there are two SIM cards in Azerbaijan. One is Baku and the other one is Azercell. Azercell has a better range, and we got the same Azercell, but we got it from the local shop. Now there are many hypermarkets or supermarkets or markets, all over Azerbaijan. So these people tend to, frankly tell you, cheat you, or they are scams. So don't fall for it, friends. We went there, and this is the rate card which they showed us, and since we'd done the research, so I was not very convinced with them, and then we bargained it literally, and we got the same 3 GB for 1 month, and we got it for 20 manats. Can you believe that? They were asking us for 45 manats and we came down to 20 manats. So yeah, and the other thing is 3 GB is quite sufficient for around 1 week's time. We were there, and you don't really use much of the data. You just use it for the booking of the taxis when you're outside. Otherwise, when you are at the room, you use a Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi in the hotels is really very good, and 3 GB is quite sufficient if you ask me for 1 week's time. That's the time period we were there, so I would suggest 3 GB for 1 week is quite sufficient. Also, you can directly go to Azercell or Baku authorized shops, and then you can buy only a SIM card. The charges only for SIM card without any data or anything is 5 manats, and then you can upgrade your plan as per your wish. Okay, so this is one thing. So SIM card scams, just be aware of it and don't fall the SIM card scam. Hotel. So hotel is something which you have to select before going there, because in e-visa they do ask you to put the address of the hotel you will be residing in for the specific time. Otherwise, at least